Alright, hello everybody. Avery Cotton again with Channel 8. We have a quick update for you before we have our 4 o'clock live shot. So we're back from lunch and the fifth witness for the state is on the stand. He's actually being cross-examined right now by the defense. He actually has a really interesting testimony. He is a sergeant, but the day of the shooting he was off duty and he and his wife decided they wanted to go see the movie Lone Survivor. So he was in the theater, the same theater as Curtis Reeves, and he was sitting on the same row as Curtis Reeves, and he said that during the previews at one point his wife tapped him. She pointed over to the two men who were arguing and she said, "You might just want to kind of keep an eye on this." And he said from there everything kind of happened so fast. He saw things escalating and then all of a sudden he heard a gunshot, and that of course was Reeves shooting Chad Olson. So he says he immediately went over to Curtis Reeves. He says that he identified himself as a sergeant, he showed him his badge, and that he took Curtis Reeves' gun, which was on his lap. We already knew that. Ooh, it's getting heated in the courtroom right now. I'll show you what I'm looking at. But, so this is what we're looking at right now. But he took the gun off of Curtis Reeves' lap, and he stayed with Reeves until law enforcement arrived, and he did that just to make sure that nobody else was in danger, because again, he doesn't know, he just knows that somebody was shot. And he testifies that he saw Chad Olson lying on the ground, and he kind of gives some gruesome testimony as to what the sounds he heard coming from Chad Olson. And he says at one point he looked over at Curtis Reeves and he says, "You know that sound, you know that's not good." And he says that Curtis Reeves looked at him and said, "I can't believe I did that." At one point he testifies that Curtis Reeves' wife Vivian, who testified last week, he says that she told her husband Curtis there was no need to shoot him. And at that point he says Curtis Reeves pointed at her, told her not to say another word, and at that point she went and sat in a seat a few seats down and turned away. So really interesting testimony coming from him. Again, an off-duty sergeant was in the same movie theater just as a regular person going to see Lone Survivor when all of this happened. He is still on the stand right now. He is the sixth witness. I think I said fifth earlier. He's the sixth witness called today. The state has one more witness for the day, so we will wrap up testimony after that. Meanwhile, we are going to be live on News Channel 8 at 4 with an update, and we'll be live again at 5:30 with the whole story of that sergeant who was off duty in the theater the day of the shooting.